100%. I guess we should get into the main topic.
The reason we're all here.
Yeah. How do you guys want to attack this? We should start from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah. Yes. So what is this? Was it all last week, more or less? Or last week, obviously George Floyd, unfortunately, horribly, was killed. But was it last week? I just want to get the timeline right because so much has happened in the space of a week.
Let's say that this timeline began with the murder of the first gentleman. I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but the one who was jogging.
The one
that was probably the beginning of all of this because people, were assuming to be quarantining and being indoors. He was literally jogging in his neighborhood and he was brutally killed by 2 off-duty cops, I believe.
Yeah.
This was back in February?
Yeah, which happened a while ago, but only began to gain traction online in the past month or so, if maybe less. So, people were already tense because of that. And then obviously rolling into what happened to George Floyd at the beginning.
You could even say that lady in the park.
I'm not aware of that one, I don't believe.
So she was walking her dog and this guy, a black guy, asked her, "Can you put your dog on a leash?" And she called 999 and was recording and everything. So I'm still like...
There's just been a snowball effect.
Yeah, and the pot has been boiling and it's boiled for sure. And everything just has blown over now, really. And they've got no one to...
Yeah, go on.
What was I going to say? I was just going to say they've got no one to blame but themselves, and that is not the African Americans or anything like that, but the police. Like, the situation they're in, I think people for real feel like enough is enough. Like it's just mad. Can't keep happening. Can't keep protesting. They're not listening one way. So I feel it's frustration,
Yeah, so the gentleman's name is Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes.
That's the one who was just running and then obviously was just shot dead. Yeah, that's a bit disturbing because my man was just jogging and all of a sudden people just have the tools to end another man's life. Not for a particular reason, but just mainly based on his skin color. And then also... if you really, really deep it, I mean, for centuries with slaves, and then, with the segregation in the United States, the UK, even things happening in the UK, the fact that this was a recording and it's still happening today is kind of crazy. Like the fact that she will call the police and say that this black man is harassing me. She's choking out her dog, which is another thing, which is hilarious in itself. But that dog was almost about to die. But it's the fact that she's calling up a police officer to say, listen, this black man is harassing me, and so on and so forth. And the police are asking, like, okay, what's the question? The police are actually questioning, like, okay, what's actually happening? Now, with all that's going on, today, a black man could just be shot dead, right? He could be arrested and say, oh, he had a weapon, or he was being aggressive, or so on and so forth. So she knew that. But this has been happening for centuries. A white woman in slavery, a white woman could be walking, all of a sudden, that boy looked at me, straight away lynching.
Harriet Tubman, man.
Yeah. Straight away lynching. It's like... It's crazy. Like it's crazy that this situation is happening today and people feel privileged to do so. Like all they have to do is make a phone call and say this black individual is doing so on and so forth to me.
That's it. It's gone left.
It's gone super left, and then now they have to go and get aggressive. Now there's police officers who are willing to do whatever they want to do to a black man because lawfully they can get away with it.
Yeah, that's what's the craziest thing, isn't it? Really, they can and they have been getting away with it. And I just feel like what's happened recently was the final straw. Like people just can't take it anymore. in what world do you need to sit on someone's neck like that for even a minute? Like, there's no way. If you put that much pressure on someone and you sit and you do that, it's only going to go one way. So I don't understand. And the thing is, we've seen they arrest people on a daily. You can't arrest and reprimand without causing any injury. There's a way to go about it. It's just
I want to know.
Importantly,
go on, Eman.
Collins.
No, go on. Well, I'm going to take it a little bit left, but you finish.
With the police, Michael Jar White, he's the actor who does martial arts, black actor. If you don't know who he is, he's the individual who played in The Dark Knight, the black man, right? Who put a million on Joker's head. But I digress. Anyways, so he said back in the day when he had his first child, he needed a stable income before he became the actor that he is today. And he went, and because he was cool with the police, he was cool with security, he went and applied to be a policeman. And he passed everything with flying colors. And then when it came to the final stage, like, okay, thank you very much, you are now a policeman, they called him in and said, we can't allow you to be a policeman. And he asked, why is that? And he said, due to the fact that you have a high IQ, we can't actually allow you to be a policeman due to the fact that you having a high IQ, you can outwit and outsmart all the police officers here and cause corruption within our police department. And it was like, okay, cool. But now that he's brought that up, this was in a Vlad TV interview, and he pretty much said that one of these individuals who are police officers, even in the United Kingdom today, I said this on a group chat, all of them may have a low IQ, and the main thing they're only being police officers is to do things to get away with them in one way, but majority of them, they just want a stable income and a pension. That's it. And there is a very small minority of police officers who want to do the job as a police officer because they wanted to become a police officer. We all know my man from school. I don't want to say his name, but he's a police officer, like, just to protect his name, innit? But my man from school, pretty much, he said from the day, like, listen, I want to become a police officer because my dad was a police officer, my granddad was a police officer. He would start quoting laws and sections and this and that. My man got bullied in school because he wanted to become a police officer. Right now, today, he's a police officer, and he's happy. He's the happiest man there is. His best friend is a black man. So I know that his intention was never to harass, beat up black people. His intention was, because my grandfather was a police officer, I want to become a police officer, and that's it. That was his conviction from a very young age. He decided. All these other individuals, they all have a low IQ. They just want to get a pension and go home and do their job. If they get angry, they would rather take it out on someone else rather than their wife and their kids or anything like that. And that's how I feel that today the police officers are in the United States and the United Kingdom.
It ties into one of the things I've noticed or just observed. So I've been watching The Wire, as I've continuously been saying, and there's like an episode which really, really stuck out to me. And long story short, there's a crime scene, and there are loads of officers on the scene, and there's traffic right next to it. There's a black man right in front of the traffic in his car, beeping his horn to get by. And one of the police officers, a white police officer, gets irritated by it, runs up to him and pulls him out of the car to try to beat him up. The other police officers hold him back, pull him back and say, what you doing here? And then they apologize to the black man, but he reports it to the police. So the police will go back to their precinct, and the chief of police, who was there when it happened, was just trying to ask people, look, how are we going to dress this up? How are we going to keep this guy from getting reprimanded? Because he would have lost his job, essentially.
Yeah.
And he was trying to make up a story for him. And he asked the guy, like, why did you do what you did? Like, the guy was clearly annoyed. He wanted to get by in traffic. He didn't do anything wrong. And the white police officer was like, nah, fuck that guy. He deserved it. He was like taking a piss, so I want to show him who's boss. And at that moment, the chief, who is black, the chief was like, you know what? I'm writing you up, because at the end of the day, you can't do stuff like that to minorities. Like, he's just trying to drive by. So essentially, the episode's showing that a lot of these police institutions are boys' clubs. A lot of them won't go to their superiors until when someone's acting up. At the end of the day, the force is like, imagine you're part of a cult. You're not going to snitch on somebody else who's in your cult. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of internal politics that goes on within the police force, a lot of corruption that goes on, where, you know, black people are stopped disproportionately because they're trying to get their numbers up, funnily enough, because they have a quota to fill. So it's way more than what we see and how people treat us in society. It's also that within the police force, the people who are supposed to protect us, there is a vast amount of corruption. So
and nothing can change until you change that or you fix that. And for me, the craziest thing is the fact that people have to now protest. We have to, because, you know, you want to see change in the middle of a pandemic which has been shown to kill us 4 times more likely, and what we've got to go out and protest for our rights. It's just crazy to me. That was the thing that really got me, the fact that, you know, the virus is already out there and we have to go out there and then protest when the virus is more likely to kill us.
I think the protest is orchestrated, mate. Like, I think it's strange, and it's not you know how, like, as a conspiracy theorist, I like to look at a massive picture and look at the bigger scale. This time, it's not orchestrated by no Illuminati group, no Russians, no Chinese. This is orchestrated by the United States of America. I'm seeing videos of, all of a sudden, by a courthouse, there's just a bunch of bricks ready to be thrown at the courthouse. And people are like, bruv, you see this right here? This is a trap. And then, more importantly, as I spoke about the police officers, there are some police officers who are fully going out, destroying property purposely because they want a martial law where it's targeted at black individuals. They don't want black people to thrive. I don't have the words for it, but I'm angry about it. Really angry.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's something that you can't physically do because you're out there trying to peacefully protest. You're out there. I mean, of course, what they did to the police cars and so on and so forth, that's the most you can go. That's as far as you can go. But then to go out and go looting, to go out and go and orchestrate situations like that, it's 10 times worse.
That's foul. Definitely. You know, a lot of the protests have been peaceful until the police or the National Guard have got there and just acted up. Like, it doesn't even correlate. People literally not doing anything. There's a whole video where people are literally unprovoked. It doesn't even make sense, like, how they're behaving. And that's what it was for me, is that we have to protest. We have to do something at this moment in time. But it's crazy that we're going out into a pandemic, into a virus that is more likely to kill us.
You see people when they rebuttal online is like, oh, aren't people supposed to be quarantining? Aren't people? Bruv, I saw 100,000 people at Southend Beach. I saw, bruv.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people protest because they don't want to actually quarantine no more. And the straw that breaks the camel's back is the fact that black people are out protesting for black people to have, like, human rights. They can suck a dick, bro. I'm not taking any of this rebuttal. I'm reading so much trash online. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, even on a personal level, yeah, because I want to get into how you guys feel about it, like, personally. But the past few days, yeah, I've been reading shit, and I think I've just had to take a break a bit from just reading shit online.
Social media,
because A, people have lost their minds, to be honest, to be frank, and B, I'm seeing a lot of people's real colours. Do you know what I'm saying? People out here exposing themselves and not realising the privilege that they have and not realising the struggles that black people go through, period. I'm seeing people complain about people protest in London. and they say, oh, it's because it's happening in the US. Why are you protesting in London? Like, bruv, this woman, that lady who got killed, mercilessly killed by a guy who spat in her face.
Spat in her face, and then they've not even tried.
It's insane.
They've kept that under the rug.
I didn't like the way they came out with that as well.
Exactly. We can't sit here and pretend like it's not going to affect us, because the racism that is happening in America is deep-rooted and systemic. The racism that we experience here is different, but it's still worth protesting for, because we go through it every day. You can't just sit here and pretend like nothing is happening across the world. Do you know what I'm saying? It's fucking mad.
What really gets me is the rebuttals, but it's just the people who just can't understand. Like, 2 + 2 = 4. It's not. Don't be racist. You know what I mean? We're protesting because of this. It's as simple as ABC. What are we talking about? How can you have a rebuttal to don't be a shitty person? Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. They even said writing what bring one black person back. They said, well, bombing Afghanistan won't bring the 9/11, the Twin Towers back, would it?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like, I mean, if you really put 2 and 2 together, but like, if you really look at it on a deeper level, I think what is actually happening here is that they're trying to get people infuriated for no particular reason. Now, what we're protesting for is the fact that a black man has died on an illegal move, and you guys are not doing anything. And this is happening countless times. This just happened to be recorded, right? So now we're obviously going to push ourselves to make sure that this precinct is under investigation and they do something about it. But in the United States, there are some things that are happening that are just going under the radar. Black people getting whooped for no reason, and then the police officer goes home. Do you know what I'm saying? People getting shot with rubber bullets. Like, rubber bullets, they hurt, you know. They go through skin. They may not penetrate, like, the whole entire body, but they go through skin. So people are being injured. People are being hurt. And then even with, like, riots and protests, you see there was a protest about quarantine, what Colin just mentioned. In the United States, white people were doing it. Police weren't violent. Police didn't put bricks on the floor. Police weren't involving themselves to be violent, to provoke martial law or provoke worse judgment upon people, innocent people. They weren't doing nothing. All of a sudden, it's a black individuals. That's when stuff just happens on a mad one.
Do you know what it is? It's crazy. They don't like what's being protested. Let's have it right, because them man were all outside their council offices with AK-47s up in the police's grill, and them man were just pushing them back. Us, we're there with our I'm gonna say our flyers and stuff like that, and our banners. Lock off. It just doesn't make sense. And Trump can suck a dick for like him, man. He's a waste, man.
Yeah, no, Trump is doing he's an
elite buffoon.
Trump is doing what Trump is doing. Why is anybody expecting anything different from him? He has shown his true colors time and time again. We can't look to that man and say, "Oh, he's a buffoon," because at the end of the day, he's their leader, and he's showing us that he's on it. Do you know what I'm saying? So all we can do is be just as on it. I know it sounds mad, but he's the least of our problems in a strange way.
I can't believe that, you know, the president of the United States said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Like, come on.
How do you guys feel? So how do you guys feel on a personal level? Let's start with you, Demi.
That's a crazy sentence,
How do you feel personally about this? Like,
I think
from how you've grown up and what you've seen in your life and how this situation makes you feel.
Just exhausted, because it just feels like you're coming back here near on every 2 years. Something this scale happens, and it's the same, you know, it's the same thing. So it's just exhausted, and I think, like a lot of people, I think now enough is enough. That's it. There has to be change this time around. Or we have to get them to at least acknowledge, you know, the need for change. Because I ain't really done anything since the 60s, if we're being honest. My stance is enough, basically.
Hmm. What about you,
Put the
man?
country in a split if you have to.
Exactly.
No, there's a way I feel about Black Lives Matter, just in general. I don't think I will have the time to speak on it on this platform. It's really deep, like the way I feel about it. If people are willing to step up to the plate, then that's when I know there's change. And the change won't come with rioting. The change won't come with mass killing of black individuals, helpless black individuals who are just doing nothing by the police. Change will come swift. It'll be swift. It'll be quick and swift. And the thing is, it's just that the way I see things, I think people, one, they have the right intentions, but the direction is that is towards a completely different place. You know, if we want something, we should make a road to actually go and get it. And I feel like people today, they just don't know that road, and they don't know how to do it. And a conversation and acknowledgement is not going to solve it. It's just building that road to make sure that we get there is one thing. And I think if people want to acknowledge that, if people want to acknowledge their role, I think we'll definitely see something going on forward, going from now. Because I think like with the celebrities, with the influencers, with the companies, some of them today are showing their true colors. They're coming out and saying, listen, right now, what's happening is unfair. Right now happening is just absurd. Like, for example, Reebok, they came out and said, listen, without the black community, our company would be nothing. They've acknowledged that. They've said it. So they know where we stand, and they stand with us as well. Now, there are some other celebrities, some other people out here who are making the statements saying so on and so forth, Black Lives Matter. Majority of them are all frauds. Majority of them are all glory hunters. They're just there just to put it on their CV, just to say, yeah, I did it. But no one is willing to take that step and to become the role that they're supposed to do within this black movement.
But do we need, I guess it lends directly into what Demi asked in the chat. Do we need celebrities or people in institutions in order to speak
yes
out?
And no.
We don't.
I think yes and no.
No.
I don't want your false or I don't want you to pretend, like Eman said, I don't want it to feel like the label called you up and said, yo, madness is happening. We need you to put a tweet out.
I don't need that PR statement to come out.
I don't, because it's fake. Even from, black artists that have done it, like, I'm looking at Travis a little bit differently, I've read some things, seen some interviews he's done where he said things that...
The Hot 97 one.
Yeah, I'm not too cool on... I'm a bit disappointed in Drake, but these people have power, it's like...
how much power do they have, Demi? Because in my opinion, they have influence, but they don't have power.
Maybe not power, but they're able to open up people's eyes to it, or at least it's people who might not have seen it. Like, people signed a petition after Zayn Malik tweeted about it. Like, it's
visibility is what it is.
It's small,
it's help,
but you can't put a price on that.
It's help. Something. That's what it is. It's like Tesco. Every little helps. That's it. But does Tesco need that every little help? No, they don't.
You can't put a price on that every little helps.
Listen, what I'm saying is we don't need any of them.
Why
we
not?
We don't need any of them.
Why not?
Their help is great. It's absolutely superb. What they do is absolutely nice. Yeah. The fact that they can support is great. They can support our cause. They can be with us. But do we need our help? No. And I think that's the one thing. People do not want to step up to the plate to be a leader. Simple. If we have leaders, for example, there is Huey Newton, there's Malcolm X, there's Martin, there's Mandela. All of them were leaders. All of them had to go through, well, 3 of them are dead. Well, all of them are dead, but one of them died living a long, happy life. But they all went and sacrificed. Nobody today is willing to do that. And more importantly, there is no guidance. So people today think that... people today think that me putting out a message on my story is going to help. In fact, people think that the peaceful protest, in a way, yes, it helps because it does give awareness to the situation that's currently happening. But I feel like being emotional does not win a war, because right now, technically speaking, we are in war, and I'm not talking from what you call this, I'm gonna be like the new tyrant or whatever. I'm just talking from the perspective. People are killing us just because of the way we look. That's a war, and people are making their own perception of us and putting out in the media to psychologically tell them that this is what we look like. So regardless of how the celebrities may feel towards us, they're not really going to help, because Hillary Clinton was for black people when she ran for her campaign, not knowing what she did to Haiti. A lot of people didn't know what she did to Haiti.
No,
people are angry at the fact that what she did to Haiti was mad, and then the fact her foundation is it's a madness. Bill Gates, everybody loves Bill Gates until you really look into his life. You find out who his father was. You find out who his father was working for. Then you're gonna think, okay, do I really look at Bill Gates the same way? Then you realize, why is he so intrigued about Africa? Why is he ramping and talking about vaccines? Why is he so excited all of a sudden? You start thinking about these things bit by bit, then you realize some of these people are not here for you. Some of these people are just here for the glory hunting and putting that on the CV and saying, I wore the badge.
Do you know what? Eman, I know what you're saying. I think I still stand, if we can do something, we should. I'm a big believer in the fact that, I don't know the poem off by heart, but, something bad is more or less something bad is happening to people, and you turned an eye and you didn't do anything, and then they came for you and there was no one to protect you.
Don't take the yam on my mouth. That one.
Yeah. But also, I'm on your side, because some of these, is that, we laugh and joke, but Dr. Umar be spitting sometimes, is when he said, a lot of these celebrities, they don't have the training. They don't know what they're talking about, really.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to offset.
It's the Ja Rule and Dave Chappelle thing all over again. That's how I feel about it. I'm seeing people. I saw a really long chain thread of people getting at it, celebrities
and
getting
celebrities
at it,
embarrassing themselves. Like, Madonna, what are you doing? Like,
do you know what I'm saying? You either end up embarrassing yourself. What was that poor kid doing?
You know what? I understand where they're coming from, but it's like, what are you doing?
You either end up embarrassing yourself.
Yeah,
go on, Demi.
I was just going to say, have you seen David Guetta was able to raise a lot of money, but it was so tone deaf. Like, it's just ridiculous.
You either end up embarrassing yourself, or you end up getting criticized for actually trying to speak your mind. So you see people, like, I'm not even going to sit here and try cap for people, because I'm not even here for any of that celebrity shit. But you'll see people get hated on because of who they are. Just because of who they are. I don't even know, I don't really have any affiliation with Kylie Jenner. But she was in the news about the billionaire stuff, and somebody pro-tweeted saying, aren't you supposed to be talking about, what's going on for the cause? And she said, I have. And then somebody put a print screen of her just showing the chainmail, when in reality she's actually posted stuff about the situation, but people are more gravitated towards a hate of a celebrity or a hate of what they're posting, as opposed to actually even being mad at black people being killed. We're losing focus on what is important. Who gives a fuck what these celebrities have to say? If they help, great. But if a bomb goes off, we're not gonna call Ja Rule for help. Who gives a fuck what he has to say right now, bro?
Exactly.
Like, it's not gonna make any difference. And the people who do make the difference will be seen. We see J. Cole out marching; he is seen. We see Jamie Foxx speaking. We see Killer Mike giving speeches. These people are seen. And when we get to a point where we actually can make some kind of actual tangible change, we'll know the people who were there. We'll know the people who weren't there. So there's no point saying I'm unhappy with this guy, I'm unhappy with that guy. Let them do what they got to do, because when the dust settles, and when one day, and hopefully one day comes where everything's Gucci with us, we'll see who was there. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about the celebrity shit.
I get you. At the end of the day, we're also human. We hold some of these people in high regard. We like them. We think, if it's time to bat for us, you'd hope they will. And it's more disappointing because the people I've been disappointed with are black. Like, I don't really care, about certain people. But if you look like me, you can relate to this. You can see what's going on. So I don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. If someone's a black artist, I think you have every right to feel. Man should step up to the plate and say something. Use your platform that you've been fortunate enough that life has given you. That's why.
If you're doing it in person, though, at least we know it's real. Like people put too much emphasis on social media. There's people out there actually touching people's lives in a real space.
I'm not talking to people who are calling out J. Cole and Kendrick. Kendrick has a whole album.
But not even them. Let's take them out of the equation. Fuck them. I love them, but fuck them. Let's just say the people in general. Let's just say, for example, I don't know, Jay-Z. He doesn't even have social media, but we all know damn well he's doing something.
Yeah, we know what he's. Yeah.
So we also as a society need to try and kind of get this.
But even
idea of social media out of our heads when it comes to this.
I think there's only one way this can be resolved, and you really have to study, like not even just study, just observe, just everything that's going on in terms of movements. So you have to go back, you have to see Huey Newton, you have to see Malcolm X, you have to see Martin Luther King. You have to see all these individuals and really observe what were they doing and what did they actually accomplish. Then you have to see what's happening today and how those sort of stages can be implemented. Because if you look at the LGBTQIP, whatever they want to call themselves, right? Not to be disrespectful, but you look at how they've established themselves. Every June, actually not even every June now, every year there's a freaking rainbow on their brand. There's a rainbow everywhere. But in June, they must make sure that they are known and they are welcome and they are included in society. Not integrated, but included. Black people today, we haven't even, like in the UK, we haven't fought for the fact that they tried to change Black History Month to Multicultural Month. We haven't changed that. We don't have an establishment. Something to say, listen, boom. Yeah. We can't allow that happening. You guys need to change this. There has to be an establishment, a business, something that actually pushes forward laws and legislation, something that at least funds, communities to make sure that there is a stable place for young individuals to now put their creative minds or even put education there just to help them. There is nothing like that in the UK. If there is anything like that in the UK, congratulations to them. I show my love to them. Definitely. I'll post them up here and there. But they're on a smaller scale. But there is not one establishment to actually push this forward. There's the LGBTQ charities. Skittles now do the whole entire month for June. They have colorless Skittles just so that the LGBTQ can thrive. Black History Month, nothing like that, bruv. Black History Month in February in the United States, all we get is Nikes. That's it. We don't get anything else. There's nothing pushed forward. There is no leadership. There is no economic structure. There is no social conditioning to make sure that we are established in this society. And we can go on for ages and talk about how Africa right now is going through another form of colonialism and they can't reach out their hand to help us. But I don't want to say that we're alone, but we have to work together and we have to make sure that we are established. That's the one thing, because these protests will go on forever, but as soon as we're established, they can't really touch us no more. They can't talk to us anyhow. They have to make sure that they address us properly as sir.
Do you think, from what it sounds like you're saying, do you think we need tactics? Because it's all well and good protesting and doing what we're doing, but there's no plan in place.
You don't win a war with emotions, bro. That's all I can say. You don't win a war with emotions.
It's what you said, Eman. It's economical structure. That's if someone asks me how are you going to do it, that's the way to do it. Because when you look at other minority groups who are obviously not going through the same struggle we have, but let's just take Asia, for example.
Even you look at MLK and what he did, them man, they listened to because they stopped. That you look at Alabama, everything they did in Alabama with the buses, and they said we're not taking the buses anymore. And when they started losing profits, their man listened and like, this is actually, they've got something. They've got power. That's when they'll talk to you. A lot of these countries, they don't talk to you as soon as they see your presence has an impact, they'll start listening because they listen to money. Once you start messing up the economy, that's when they listen.
Bro, do you think they could do this to Chinese people in America? Absolutely not.
Not a chance.
Do you know, this is what I'm trying to say. So if you look at them, for example, they obviously probably experience some kind of racism. But obviously it's different to the type we experience. But it will never, ever run because they are economically powered. They have an army. They have things in structure where if you're a certain race and you live outside the country, they've got you. So until, I know it's a really long shot, but as Eman's saying, until Africa unites and becomes an economical powerhouse and people actually pull their resources together and not get manipulated by whatever countries that need our stuff or our resources, it's not going to change.
It doesn't even have to be with Africa. I mean, you could start off with us. Even like, for example, just our European contribution. Like, if there is a society here in the United Kingdom and we actually establish ourselves properly, I'm telling you for sure, we will make enough noise. They'll have to actually say something. They'll have to step up to the plate and say, all right, listen, let's change. Let's change the way we train our individuals. Let's do psychoanalysis on every single police officer. Let's find a way to fund that and make sure that that's actually happening. And we're getting the right and correct people in our police force. And if those individuals are not there, then we'll do something about it. Because, I mean, in the United States, there's so many racists that are there's so many KKK covert members who are in there and they're just doing whatever they please. As long as they don't get in trouble, they're all right. So it's frustrating for one, but I think now is the time where people will have to step up as leaders. People will now have to step up and come together and become a strong force to contest this. Because I don't think it's right to go and fight every single KKK member. But I think it's better if we go to the legislation, to the laws, the principality itself, and fight that.
It's the people who hold the real power.
It doesn't even have to be money, bro. It could just be one person. Because I guarantee you, in the beginning, they never had money. Malcolm X, Huey Newton, they never had money. I mean, the money came,
but
and they became a bit powerful.
I'm not saying, not that they've got money or we need someone who's rich to do it. I'm saying if you attack the economy or they notice that impact, things change, man.
Things will change.
Just gotta follow
they will.
Follow the money, and you never know where you end up, man.
For real.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on the docket?
Nah, man. I feel like that's probably the best.
That was quite therapeutic.
Yeah, I had to get some shit off, man. I've been saying so much nonsense this past week, bro.
For
real. A heavy week, for sure. Just prayers out to all the families that are affected by it.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
Prayers out to all black people worldwide. Prayers out to the people who are fighting a cause who are non-black. Prayers to the people who are actually trying to make active change and people in positions of power trying to make things actually move. Because, it's all well and good burning down things. It's all well and good protesting. But once this is all done, we don't want things to go back to normal.
No.
So, let's try and make real change,
Yeah. Anyway, man, it's been real. Honestly, that's a good episode. Managed to tackle a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
MIC going live on Saturday, isn't it? Saturday, 6th of June. So that should be fun. That's something to look forward to.
It'll be this week.
So that'll be great. It will be this week. So all the information will be on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So just go have a read there. But it was another good episode, boys.
Lovely stuff.
Lovely, man. Lovely.
Hopefully,
guys, take care.
Yeah, take
bless.
care.
Stay
Hopefully,
safe.
better vibes next time. But Stay safe.
For real.